In general, the mind operates by contrast. We are able to formulate concept about something by becoming aware of its opposite. The brain is continually dredging of this contrast. What this means is that whenever we see or imagine something, our mind cannot help but see or imagine the opposite. If we are forbidden by our culture or to think a particular thought or certain a particular desire, that taboo in instantly bring to mind the very thing we are forbidden. Every no spark a corresponding yes. It was the outlawing of pornography in Victorian times that created the first pornographic industry. We cannot control this vacillation in the mind between contrast. The predisposes us to think about and then desire exactly what we do not exactly what we do not have. Second, compla- compla- complacency would be a dangerous evolutionary trait for a conscious animal such as human. If our early ancestor had been prone to feeling content with the present circumstances, they would not have been sensitive enough to possible danger lurked that lurked in the most apparently safe environment. We survived we survive and thrive through our continual conscious alertness. Thrive our continual conscious alertness, which predisposed us to thinking and imagining the possible negative in any circumstances, which predisposed us to thinking and imagining the possible negative in any circumstances. We no longer live in savannas or foresting, teeming with life-threatening predators with natural danger, but our brain with life-threatening predators and natural dangers. But our brain are wired as if we were. We are inclined, therefore, toward a continual negative bias, which often consciously is expressed through complaining and gripping. Finally, what is real and what is imagined are both experienced similarly in the brain. This has been demonstrated through various experiments in which subject who imagine something produce electrical and chemical activity in the brain that is remarkably similar to when they actually live out what they are imagining. All of this shown through functional magnetic resonance imagining MRI. Reality can be quite harsh and is full of limits and problems. And reality can be quite harsh and is full of limits and problems. We almost die. Every day we get older and less stronger. Every day we get older and less stronger and less strong. To become successful requires sacrifice and hard work, but in our imagination we can voyage beyond this limit and attain all kind of possibilities. Our imagination is essentially limitless, and what we imagine has almost the force of what we actually experience. And what we imagine has almost the force of what we actually experience. And so we become creatures who are continually prone to imagining something better than present circumstances and feeling some pleasure in the release from reality that our imagination bring us. The release from reality that our imagination bring us. All of this makes the grass is always greener syndrome inevitable. The grass is always green. All of this make the grass is always greener syndrome inevitable in our psychological makeup. We should not moralize or complain about this possible flaw in human nature. We should not moralize or complain about this possible flaw in human nature. It is a part of the moral life of each one of us, and it has. It has many benefits. It is a source of our ability to think of new possibilities and innovate. It is a source of our ability to think of new possibilities and innovate. It is a source of our ability to think of new possibilities and innovate. I lost two mangoes with two grapes. Hmm. Two grapes. Don't know. What is the answer of this question? Thank you, everyone. Okay. Many. My God. And it has many benefits. It is a source of our ability to think of new possibilities and innovate. It is what has made our imagination such a powerful instrument. And on the flip side, it is the material out of which we can move, excite, and seduce. Knowing how to work on people's natural covetousness is a timeless art that we depend on for all forms of persuasion. The problem we face today is not that people have suddenly stopped coveting, but quite the opposite. That we are losing our connection to this art and the power that goes with it. That we are losing our connection to this art and power that goes with it. We see evidence of this in our uh, we see evidence of this in our culture. We live in an age of bombardment and saturation. Advertisers blanket us with their message and presence, directing us here or there to click and buy. Movies bludgeon us over the head, attacking our senses. Politicians are master at stirring up and exploiting our discontent with present circumstances. Politicians are master at stirring up and exploiting our discontent with present circumstances. Discontent with and exploiting our discontent with present circumstances, but they have no sense of how to spark our imagination about the future. In all of these cases, sub- subtlety is sacrificed, and all of this has an overall hardening effect in our imagination, which secretly craves something else. We see evidence of this in personal relationship as well. More and more people have come to believe that others should simply desire them for who they are. More and more people have come to believe that others should simply desire them for who they are. This means revealing as much as they can about themselves, exposing all of their likes and dislikes, and making themselves as family as possible. They leave no room for imagination or fantasy, and when the man or woman they want loses interest in them, and when the man and woman they want losing interest in them, they go online to rent at the superficiality of men or the fecklessness of women. Increasingly self-absorbed, we find it hard we find it harder than ever to get into psychology of the other person, to imagine what they want from us instead of what we want from them. Understand, people may point to all of this as evidence that we human are becoming more honest and truthful, but human nature does not change. But human nature does not change. Within a few generations, people have become more obvious and forthright, not out of some deep moral calling, but out of increasing self-absorption and overall laziness. It requires no effort to simply be oneself or to blast one's message, and the lack of effort simply result in a lack of effect on the other people's psychology. It means that people interest in you will be paper thin. Their attraction will quickly move on, and you will not see the reason for this. Their attraction will quickly move on, and you will not see the reason for this. Do not swallow the easy moralism of the day. Don't swallow the easy moralism of the day, which urges honest at the expense of the desirability. Go in the opposite direction. With so few people out there who understand the art of desirability, it afford you endless opportunity. Art of desirability. It afford you endless opportunities to sign and exploit people's repressed fantasy. It affords you endless opportunities to sign and exploit people's repressed fantasies. West Bengal. West Bengal. And you are from? Hmm, I think what you know. Hmm, strategies for stimulating desire. The key to making this law work for you is to objectify yourself and what you produce. Normally, you are locked in your own thoughts and dreams. You imagine people should love and respect you for who you are. You believe that what you produce should naturally excite people. After all, you have invested a lot of effort and have high hopes for success. But others see none of this. After all, you have invested a lot of effort and have high hopes for success. But others see none of this. To them, you are just a person among others, and as a person, you inspire either curiosity and excitement or indifference, and even if hostility. They project onto you their own fantasies and preconceptions. Once made public, your work is also an object completely divorced from your own hopes and dreams, and it inspires emotion that are weak or strong. By emotions that are weak or strong, to the degree that you can see yourself, to the degree. Sorry. Come here. To the no, to the degree that you can see yourself and what you produce as object, that people perceive in their own manner. You have the power to alter their perception and create object of desire. You have the power to alter their perception and create an object of desire. The people are the peop- the following are the three main strategies for creating such objects. Know how and when to withdraw. Know how and when to withdraw. This is the essence of the art. You have a presence that people see and interpret. If you are too obvious with this, if people can read you too easily and figure you out, if you show your needs too visibly, too visible, if you show your needs too visibly, then they will unconsciously begin to have a degree of disrespect. Over time, they will lose interest. Your presence must have a touch of coldness to it, as if you feel like you could do without others. As if you feel like you could do without others. This signal to people that you consider yourself worth of respect, which unconsciously heighten your value in their eyes. It makes your presence must have a touch of coldness to it, as if you feel like you could do what without others. As if you feel like you could do without others. The signal to people that you consider yourself worthy of respect. To people that you consider yourself, the signal to people that you consider yourself worthy of respect, with unconsciously heighten your value in their eyes. It makes people want to chase after you. This touch of coldness is the first form of withdrawal that you must practice. And to this, a bit of blankness and ambiguity as to who you are. Your opinion, your opinion, values, taste are never too obvious to people. This gives them room to read into you what they want. Movie stars are master of this. They turn their faces and their presence into screens upon which people can project their own fantasies. What you want in general is to create an air of mystery and to attract interpretation. What you want in general is to create an air of mystery to attract interpretation. Once you sense that you have engaged people's imagination, that you have your hooks in them, then you must use physical absence and withdrawal. You're not so available. A day or week can go by without your presence. You create a feeling of emptiness inside them. You can create a feeling of emptiness inside them, a touch of pain. You occupy increasingly amount of their mental space in these absence. You occupy increasing amount of their ment you occupy increasing amount of their mental space in these absence. They come to want more of you. They come to want more of you, not less. The musician Michael Jackson played this game to perfection on the social level. He was deeply aware of the dangers of saturating the market with his. He was deeply aware of the danger of saturating the market with his music and public appearances. He spread out the releases of his albums, making the public hungry for more. Making the public hungry. He spread out the releases of his albums. He spread out the releases of his albums, making the public hungry for more. He carefully managed the frequency of his interviews and performance and never talked about the meaning of his lyrics or propagated any overt message. He occasionally had his publicist leak to the press some new story surrounding him, such as his use of hyperbaric chambers as a way to maintain eternal youthfulness. He would either confirm nor deny these stories, and the press would run wild. He was someone who sparked stories and rumors, but nothing concrete. Through this strategic elusiveness, he made himself an object of continual desire, both to know him better and to possess his music. With the work you produce, you can create similar covetous effect. Always leave the presentation and the message relatively open-ended. Author leaves a presentation and the message relatively open-ended. People can read into your work and several interpretations never define exactly how they should take or use it. This is why the work of great dramatists such as Shakespeare and Chekhov has lasted for so many centuries and always seems so fresh and exciting. Each generation can read into their plays. Can you? Into their place what they want to. This writer described timeless element of human nature, but without judging or directing the audience to what they should feel or think. Take that as a model for whatever you produce. Keep in mind the following: the more active our imagination becomes, the greater the pleasure we derive from it. When we were children, if we were given a game with explicit instruction and rules, we quickly lost interest. But if the game was something we invented or was loosely structured, allowing us to inject our own ideas and fantasies, we could sustain our interest for much longer. When we view an abstract painting that evokes dream or fantasies, or see a film that is not easily interpreted, or hear a joke or advertisement that is ambiguous, we are the ones who do the interpreting, and we find it exciting to be able to exercise our imagination in this way. Through your work, you want to stimulate this pleasure for people to the maximum degree. Create rivalries to desire. Human desire is never an individual phenomenon. We are social creature, and what we want almost always reflect what other people want. We are social creature, and what we want almost always reflect what other people want. We are social creature, and we are social creature, and what we want almost always reflects what other people want. This stems from our earliest years. We saw the attention that that our parent could give us, the object we first coveted, as a zero-sum game. If our sibling received a lot of attention, then there would be less for us. We had to compete with them and with others to get attention and affection. When we saw our sibling or friend receive something, a gift or a favor, it sparked a competitive desire to have the same thing. If some object or person was not desired by other, we tend to see it as something indifferent or distasteful. There must be something wrong with it. If some object or person was not desired by others, this become a lifelong pattern. For some, it is more overt. In relationship, they are interested only in men or women who are already taken. In relationship, they are interested only in men or women who are already taken, who are clearly desired by a third party. Their desire is to take away this love object to triumph over the other person, a dynamic that most certainly has roots in their childhood. If other people are making if other people are making money through some new gimmick, they want they want not only to participate but to corner the market. For other it is subtler. They see people possessing something that seem exciting. They see They see people possessing something that seem exciting. They see people possessing something that seem exciting, and their desire is not to take but to share and participate in the experience. In either direction, when we see people or things desired by others, it drive up their value. In either direction, when we see people or things desired by others, it drives up their value. It drives up their value. We must learn how to exploit this. If you can somehow create the impression that other desire you or your work, you will pull people into your current without having to say a word or impose yourself. They will come to you. You must strive to surround yourself with this social aura, or at least create the illusion. You can create this effect in several ways. You manage it so that your object is seen or heard everywhere. even encouraging piracy of nursery as channel did. You didn't directly intervene. This will inevitably spark some kind of viral pull. You can speed up this process by feeding rumors or a story about the object through various media. People will begin to talk and the word of mouth will spread the effect. Even negative comments or controversy will do the trick something will do the trick, sometimes even better than praise. Even negative comment or controversy will do the trick. Even negative comment or controversy will do the trick. Sometimes even better than praise. It will give your object a provocative and transgressive edge. Anyway, people can drawn toward the negative. Your silence or lack of over direction of the message will allow people to run wild with with their own stories and interpretation. You can also get important you can also get important people or test makers to talk about it and fan the flames. You can also get important people you can also get important people or test makers to talk about it and fan the flames. Hmm. What you are offering, they say, is new. What you're offering, they say, is new, revolutionary, something not seen or heard or before, something not seen or heard of before. You are trafficking in the future. No, 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 sorry. You are trafficking. You are trafficking in the future, in trends. At a certain point, enough people will feel the pull and will not want to be left out, which will pull in others. The only problem in this game is that in the world today, you have much competition for this viral effect, and the public is incredibly fickle. You must be a master not only at setting off these certain the not at setting off these chain reaction, but and but at renewing them or creating new ones. As an individual, you must make it clear that people desire you, that you have a past, not too much of a past to inspire mistrust, but enough to signal that other have found you desirable. You want to be direct in this. You want to be direct in this. You want them to hear stories of your past. You want them to literally see that and think. You want them to literally see the attention you receive from men or women. All of these without your saying a word. Any bragging or explicit signaling of this will neutralize the effect. Any bragging or explicit signaling of this will neutralize the effect. In any negotiating situation, you must always try to bring in a third or fourth party to wear for your services, creating a rivalry of desire. This will immediately enhance your value, not just in terms of a biding war, but also in the fact that people will see that others covet you. Not just in terms of a biding war, but also in the fact that people will see that others covet you. Use inductions. We may think we live in a time of great freedom compared with the past, but in fact, we live in a world that is more regulated than ever before. Our every move is followed digitally. There are more laws than ever governing all aspects of human behavior. Political correctness, which has always excited, can be more intense because of how visible we have become on social media. Secretly, most of us feel bothered or crushed by all of these constraints on our physical and mental movement. Constant on our physical and mental movement. Secretly, most of us feel bothered or crushed by all of these constant on our physical and mental movement. We yearn for what is clear, transgressive, and beyond the limit that are set for us. We can easily be put. We yearn for what is transgressive and beyond the limit that are set for us. We can easily be pulled toward that repressed no or yes. We can easily be pulled toward that represent no or yes. You want to associate your object with something ever so slightly illicit, unconventional, or politically advanced. Channel did this with her overt androgynous appeal and floating of gender roles. The fight between generation is always ripe material for this. What you offer is in bold contrast to the stodgy previous generation. What you offer is in bold contrast. What you offer is in bold contrast to the stodgy previous generation. Often bold contrast to the stodgy previous generation. What you offer is in bold contrast to the stodgy previous generation. Okay. John F. Kennedy did this by setting himself off against the 1950s and the Eisenhower 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 eras, a time of stultifying conformity. By contrast, voting for him meant youth, vigor, and lost masculinity. In essence, he played to the secret. In essence, he played to the secret resentment of the father figure. In essence, he played to the secret resentment of the father figure and the transgressive desire, to get rid of him. To get rid of him. This desire is always tacitly out there among the young, and it always has a taboo element attached. One illicit desire that almost all people share is voyeurism. To speak inside to peek inside the private lives of others violate strict social taboos on privacy, and yet everyone feels the pull to see what is going on behind people's door. And yet everyone feels the pull to see what is going behind the people's door. Theater and film depend upon this voyeuristic desire. Film depend upon this voyeuristic desire. Theater and film depend upon this voyeuristic desire. They put us inside people's room, and we experience this almost as if we were literally spying on people. You can incorporate this into your work by giving the impression you are revealing secret that should really not be shared. Some will be outraged, but everyone will be curious. Some will be outraged, but everyone will be curious. This could be secret about yourself. This could be secrets about yourself and how you accomplished what you did, or it could be about others. What happened behind the closed door of powerful people and the laws that they operate by. In any event, what you offer should be new, unfamiliar, and exotic, or at least presented as such. The contrast to what is out there, so numbingly conventional, will create a covetous pull. In an event, what you offer should be new, unfamiliar, and exotic, or at least presented as such. The contrast to what is out there, the contrast to what is out there, so numbingly conventional, will create a covetous pull. Finally, dangle in front of people the prospect of grasping the unattainable or the impossible. Life is full of all kinds of irritating limits and difficulties. Life is full of all kinds of irritating limits and difficulties. To be to become wealthy or successful require great effort. We are locked inside our own character and cannot become someone else. Someone else. We cannot recover our lost youth or the health that went with it. Every day bring us closer to death, the ultimate limit. Your object, however, offer the fantasy of a quick path to wealth and success, of recovering lost youth. Your object, however, offer the fantasy of a quick path to wealth and success, of recovering lost youth, of becoming a new person, and even of conquering death itself. People will grasp greatly at such thing because they are considered as impossible. They are considered so impossible. By the law of induction, we can imagine all of these shortcuts and fantasies, just as we can imagine a unicorn, which give us the desire to reach them. and imagining them is almost like experiencing them. Remember, it is not possession but desire that secretly impels people. Remember, it is not possession, but remember, it is not possession but desire that secretly impels people. It is not possession but desire that secretly impels people to possess something, inevitably bring about some disappointment that spark the desire for something new to pursue. That spark the desire for something new to pursue. Something desire for something new to pursue. You are preying upon the human need for fantasies and the pleasure of chasing after them. In this sense of your effort must be continually renewed. In the sense of your effort must be continually renewed. Once people get what they want to possess you, your value and their respect of you immediately begin to lower. Once people get what they want to possess, what once people get what they want or possess you, your value and their respect of and their respect for you immediately begin to lower. Keep withdrawing, surprising and stimulating the chase. As long as you do, you have the power. The supreme desire. Our path must always be toward greater awareness of our nature. Our path must always be toward greater awareness of our nature. We must see within ourselves the grass is always greener syndrome at work, or how it continually impels us to certain action, and how it continually impels us to certain action. We need to be able to distinguish between that is positive and productive in our covetous tendency, and what is negative and counterproductive. On the positive side, feeling restless and discontented can motivate us to search for something better and to not settle for what we have. It enlarges our imagination as we consider It enlarges our imagination as we consider other possibilities instead of the circumstances we face. As we get older, we tend to become more complacent, and renewing the restlessness of our earlier years can keep us youthful and our mind active. As we get older, we tend to become more complacent, and renewing the restlessness of our earlier year can keep us youthful and our mind active. The restlessness, however, must be under conscious control. Often, our discontent is merely chronic. Our desire for change is vague, and our desire for change is vague and a reflection of our boredom. This leads to a waste of precious time. This leads to a waste of precious time. We are happy with the way of with the we are happy with the way our career is going, and so we make a big change which require learning new skill and acquiring new contact. We enjoy the newness of it all, but several years later we again feel the steering of discontent. The new path isn't right either. We would have been better off thinking about this more deeply, homing in on those aspects of our previous career that did not click, and trying for a more gentle change, choosing a line of work related to the previous one but requiring an adaptation of our skill. With relationships, we can spend our life searching for the perfect man or woman and end up largely alone. With relationship, we can spend our life searching for the perfect man or woman and end up largely alone. There is nobody perfect. Instead, it is better to come to terms with the flaws of the other person and accept them, or even find some charm in their weakness. Calming down. What? Calming down our covetous desire, we can then learn the art of compromise and how to make a relationship work. We can learn the art of compromise and how to make a relationship work, which never come easily or unnaturally, which never come easily or naturally. Instead of constantly chasing after the latest trends and modeling our desire. क्या कर गया? हाँ, and modeling our desire on what others find exciting. Instead of constantly chasing after the latest trend and modeling our desire on what others find exciting, we should spend our time getting to know our own taste and desire better, so that we can distinguish what is something we truly need or want from that which have been manufactured by advertisers or viral effect. Life is short, and we have only so much energy. Led by our covetous desire, we can waste so much time in futile search and changes. In general, do not constantly wait and hope for something better, but rather make the most of what you have. Wow. In general, consider it this way. You are embedded in an environment that consists of the people you know and the places you frequent. This is your reality. Your mind is being continually drawn far away from this reality because of human nature. You dream of traveling to exotic places, but if you go there, you merely drag with you your own drag with you your own discontented frame of mind. You search for entertainment that will bring you new fantasies to feed upon. You read book filled with ideas that have no relation to your daily life, that are full of empty speculations about things that only half exist. And none of this turmoil and caseless desire for what is most distant ever leads to anything fulfilled. It only stir up more chimeras to pursue. In the end, you cannot escape from yourself. In the end, you cannot escape from yourself. On the other hand, reality beckons you. To absorb your mind is what is nearest instead of most distant. Bring a much different feeling. With the people in your circle, you can always connect on a deeper level. With the people, no, bring a much different feeling. With the people in your circle, you can always connect on a deeper level. This is people in your circle. You can always connect on a deeper level. This is much you will This is much you will never know about the people you deal with. And this can be a source of endless fascination. You can not no, you can connect more deeply to your environment. The place where you live has a deep history that you can immerse yourself in. Knowing your environment better will present many opportunities for power. As for yourself, you have mysterious corner you can never fully understand. In trying to know yourself better, you can take charge of your own nature instead of being a slave to it. You can take charge of your own nature instead of being slave to it. And your work has endless possibility for improvement and innovation. And your work has endless possibilities for improvement and innovations. Endless challenges for the imagination. Endless challenges for the imagination. These are the things that are closest to you and compose your real. These are the things that are closest to you and compose your real, not virtue world. In the end, what you really must covet is a deeper relationship to a reality which will bring you calmness, focus, and practical power to alter what it is possible to alter. It is. Oh, It is advisable to let everyone of your acquaintance. It is it is advisable to let everyone of your acquaintance, whether man or woman, feel now and then that you could very well, whether man or it is advisable to let everyone of your acquaintance, it is advisable to let everyone of your acquaintance, ECQAINTNC, whether man or woman, feel now and then that you could very well dispense with their company. Feel now and then that you could very well dispense with their company. This will consolidate friendship. Nay, with most people, there will be no harm in occasionally mixing a grain of disdain with your treatment of them. That will make them value your friendship all the more. But if we really think very highly of a person, we should conceal it from him like a crime. But if we really think very highly of a person, we should conceal it from him like a crime. This is not a very gratifying thing to do, but it is right. Why a dog will not bear being treated too kindly, let alone a man? Why a dog will not bear being treated too kindly? Why a dog will not bear being treated too kindly? Let alone a man.